Here we are taking the Can Am Ryker Sport out for the very first ride after taking delivery, and we're going to talk about some of the subtle nuances transferring from 2 wheels to 3.
Okay, so right now I'm going to go on my very first ride on the Can Am Ryker Sport. So you got to go through the startup procedure. Key is in it already. Turn it on, throttle forward, and hit the button. Okay, so now it's started. And now I can get off the thing and I can open it up, little glove compartment. And the only reason I need to open it up on my first trip is that I have to put my owner's copy of the registration in it and my insurance. Now, another thing that I like to do whenever I get something new like this is I like to go through the owner's manual. And I went through the owner's manual on this to figure out what the tire pressure was in the front and rear tires. And it said to check the tire label on the bike. And it didn't tell me in the owner's manual where the tire label was, so I had to look that up online or watch somebody else's YouTube video to find out where that was. And it is underneath this air intake right here on the side. You open it up, and then you see the tire pressure label over here. And the fronts are 25 psi and the rear is 28. So I checked them. They were at 25 and 28. But the one thing I like to do is that I have a little electric handheld air pump. 28 pounds in the rear. That's what she said. 28 pounds in the rear. Every time I check tire pressure on one of my bikes, I like to take it down below what the tire pressure is supposed to be and then raise it back up to what it is supposed to be. That way I think that I got an accurate reading. So it started and it'll warm up while I'm talking. It's got 1.2 miles on it from the dealer down there. And there they are, Woods Cycle Country. I always want to call them Woods Country Cycle. But it's Woods Cycle Country in New Braunfels, Texas. It's a little bit north of San Antonio, along Interstate 35, south of Austin, Texas. I'm only going to take it for a brief ride here because I'll show you here. The radiator is right there. And what I really need to do is get a radiator cover for that to keep pebbles and stones and bugs from, denting that radiator. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a splitter on the front end of it to help protect that under there. And all this stuff arrives on Wednesday this week. This is Sunday, May 21st. The third thing that I'm getting is a skid plate to protect the transmission underneath. And then I'm going to get a brake light modulator for the rear end. And if you don't know what a brake light modulator is, it's something that causes your brakes to flash fast 3 times and then go solid. For cars that are run up behind you, they know you're putting on your brakes. It's always nice to have on a bike. So let's take a look at it while it's warming up. Low beam is on right now. These lights on each fender here, they're marker lights and turn signals. So let's put on turn signal and see what they look like. And I'm also going to turn on bright lights to see what the brights look like. So there's a turn signal flashing now. The turn signal amber is on the outside of the white light. You press the turn signal button to cancel them. There's the horn. High beam, low beam switch. There's the starter, there's the on-off switch. This is cruise control. We're going to get on it and we're going to take our first ride. Another thing that I need to do to this motorcycle is find a quad lock mount so I can put my phone up here for myself. I like to use the phone for music in my Sena headset. I like to use it for directions, Waze maps. It's always nice to have that right there in front of you. So here we go. We're going to go. I adjusted the handlebars to my liking right there, okay? I like them adjusted that way. I adjusted the mirrors to my liking. You can adjust these mirrors up and down like that and adjust them again right here if you wanted to, right? I've got them here. I mean, you can even take them all the way down. You can take these mirrors all the way down and adjust this up if you want. But I got them where I think I'll be able to see well and be comfortable. I got them right there. And as I take off, I will see where the aim is and adjust them from there. So let's go. I got to take it off park. It's off park right now, and we're going to go. When I took my initial ride in the parking lot down in New Braunfels in front of the dealer, I was speechless. I didn't say anything during that video because I was in awe over this machine. I just enjoyed it so much that I didn't have anything to say about it. It was so great. And right now I have it in eco mode. Where's my eco mode? I was running through this before, and maybe it's this button. Oh, that's running me through the trip meters. It's 8:14 p.m., so it's going to get dark soon. I was able to set my trip meters. So let's see here. Eco off. Now eco mode is off, and I guess that's just a normal driving mode. Sport mode, which turns traction control off right up there, it seems. So I don't want to ride it in that my first time out. Maybe later, once I get used to it. Now I'm back in eco mode. That's what I'm going to ride it in. Right now it's in reverse. And one thing I like about this too, it's not going to move anywhere unless you give it some throttle. So I'm going to get on it and I'm going to keep my hand away from the throttle so it doesn't move while I'm getting on it. Because, you know, I'm used to on a motorcycle, when I mount the motorcycle, reaching for the throttle and grabbing the front brake so that it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't move forward or back, just me getting on the thing. That's a good habit to get into if you ride a motorcycle. When you mount it and get off of it, squeeze that front brake. And once you're on it, once you're off of it, release the front brake. So I got to break that habit of getting on this thing and grabbing the throttle right away until I'm on it and ready to go. I'm going to take it out of reverse, put it in drive, and that is the handle all the way to the front. Now, one thing I've seen online is there's handle extenders, and I don't think I need anything like that. There are people who operate that with their foot. I think I'll reach down and use my hand all the time. So now it's in forward gear and we're ready to go. And people sometimes online, whenever they start it, it kind of starts in jerky motion, right? And the way to prevent that is to leave your foot on the brake, give it some throttle, and then ease off the brake for a smooth start. See how smooth that was? That was great. I'm going to get up here and just run around in my neighborhood is what I'm going to do. Now, one thing about these Rykers, I'm already reaching with my left foot to shift up into second gear, man. You know, from used to riding a motorcycle all the time. What I want to say about riding this thing is that when you make a right-hand turn, your body, the centrifugal force, wants to swing you off of the thing to the left. The same when you make a left-hand turn, your body wants to swing you off of the thing to the right. I'm going to make this left-hand turn right now, and what I got to do is squeeze the tank with my knees, and I got to lean left. I'm not leaning to make the Ryker lean to the left. I'm leaning to the left to keep my body from flying to the right. Steering is really easy on this thing so far. Wow. Now, one thing I just did was I went over a manhole cover, and maybe I'm gonna pull over and adjust my mirrors, because now I know where my mirrors need to be. I got them both too far out and a little high. So I'm going to adjust those in. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. I want to be able to see in my blind spot with my mirrors. This one's too far out also. Height is good. So now my mirrors are good. And I'm going to turn around, look in my mirror, check my blind spot, and now I'm going to take off again. Hold the brake down a little bit. Until I get used to this throttle, that's what I'm going to do. Manhole covers, I'm going to keep my rear wheel off of them. I'm going to try. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to take the route that I walk every day. I'm treating it just like a motorcycle. You know, in a car, whenever you come across an intersection, you know, you just go. You don't look down here. But in a motorcycle, you gotta look down there. Because cars don't see you. That's why you gotta look down those intersections when you're riding a motorcycle. And this, even though it has 3 wheels, is considered a motorcycle. You know, it's weird getting used to the brakes coming from a motorcycle, because I'm wanting again to reach and grab for the front brake with my right hand and just ease on the brake with my right foot. Here I am taking this left-hand turn and I'm squeezing with my knees and leaning left. Not to lean the Can Am, but just so centrifugal force does not throw me to the right. Here I am applying brake again. Going left. I thought that there was a gear indicator on here, but I don't see it yet. I'm going to pull over here. Here I am, reaching for the front brake again as I stop. Got to get used to that. I'm going to play with the settings here again, and I'm going to see range, settings, RPM, fuel stat, eco off, sport mode, eco mode. I'm going to put eco off, but I'm not going to go into sport mode. It just says F for forward, I guess. I don't see any indication of gears. Put the bright lights on, would dim those. I thought about adding some lights to the front of this thing too. Maybe some additional LEDs or fog lights, and I'm not going to do that just yet. For me, I just hit a bump there. I mean a pothole. For me, the radiator screen to protect that from rocks and debris and the skid plate on the bottom is more important than lights right now. But what I think is important, you know, when you let off the throttle, this thing will slow down quite a bit. Like, well, when I let off the throttle and I'm slowing down, I do tap my brakes for the cars that might be behind me. So you got to do that with this too. Because you let off the throttle, it slows down quite a bit. There's no indication to drivers behind you that that is what you are doing. So turn signals are not self-canceling, so you got to cancel them all the time. There's a manhole cover. I'm going to go around it. So it's very much like riding a motorcycle, except for there's only one brake, and it's the foot brake. There's no clutch over here on the left with your hand, and there's no brake for the front wheels with your right hand. I really don't like taking it out here at 8:23 p.m. and it's just turning, I guess, dusk. Dawn is in the morning, so this is dusk because the deer are coming out around this time. I start my evening walking exercise around this time at night, and I see deer. I see deer up and down this road that's right ahead. But we'll see here. I mean, this is a fun first ride. I like it so far. I'm wanting to put my feet down too, as if I'm riding a motorcycle. That's kind of strange. It's going to take a lot of getting used to. The width of the Ryker, pretty cool. I wish I had my phone mounted up here with the Waze app running on it too, so that I could see the accuracy of the speedometer. I'm scanning for deer. I'm going to switch lanes, check my rear view, switch lanes, because I'm going to make a right-hand turn up here. I'm squeezing the tank with my knees right now before I make this turn. I'm reaching for that front brake again, you know, like I'm on a motorcycle. So let's see, there's no traffic coming that way, and there's none coming this way. I'm going to lean into the right as I make this turn. Speed limit here is 45. Man, it got from like 30 to 50 real quick. Real quick. Speed limit goes down to 40 up here. My rear view mirror here needs to go up a little bit. Okay, that's good. Okay, for this orange light up here, I didn't reach for the front brake. I'm tapping my brake. I don't like the angle of this brake pedal down here. I guess it's just something I'm going to have to get used to. Now I can see already that I have to slide to the left position of the lane or the right position of the lane to keep my rear tire out of the oil spot that's down the center of the lane all the time. I'm going to switch lanes here. Switching lanes here is very easy. I know the Spider has power steering, but on this, it's very lightweight. You don't need any power steering. It's pretty cool. There's a car stopped there for some reason. Gotta be careful. Another red light. Applying the brake. I'm gonna move over to the left a little bit to keep my rear wheel out of this center of the lane where all the oil droppings come from cars. And now the problem is that my right front tire is in the oil lane. So I gotta figure that out. It will get up and go. I like it. It'll get up and go and leave everything else behind. Wow, it's very powerful. I think it has like 88 or 89 horsepower, which is plenty. coming down in here to a construction zone where the speed limit goes to 35. Nobody behind me coming up close. I adjusted the foot pegs back a little bit. They were all the way forward, but I think they're going to be more comfortable for me all the way forward. My knees, I'm feeling, I got bad knees. I'm 60 years old, spent my life in the Army, did a lot of running, broke my knee and tibia in my left leg. So my knees, if anything, if I ever have any trouble, comes in my knees. I adjusted the foot pegs back in case I hit any hard bumps or anything like that, and I had to stand sort of at a mid-control level, but I think as for comfort for my knees, I will adjust the foot pegs forward more. I'm trying to stay out of this car's blind spot. I'm going to get in behind this guy because I'm going to turn around up here to Walmart and take some residential streets back home. $4.15 a gallon here in Texas is what the price of gas is. I don't like people driving in this lane because the construction is ongoing here, but people will move all the way over here to the right and make a lane out of this. There's still just 2 lanes running down here, but people are dumb, and I wish I could tell them all there's only 2 lanes here, but they try to make it into 3. I'm going to go up a road here in Copper's Cove called Constitution Avenue, because Constitution Avenue needs to be repaved, and I want to see what the suspension on the Ryker feels like going up Constitution Avenue. I'm going to do a lane change and turn around and take a look behind me like you do on a motorcycle, use my rear view mirrors and check my blind spot. Now, I got a green light here, and I'm going to make my first real turn at any kind of speed, and I'm going to see how this turns out. Okay, that was okay. So this road is just very bumpy. Needs to be repaved. And road work. There's no road work here, man. That must be a road and road work side from the main road over there. Speed limit here is 30, and I'm doing 25 because of how bumpy the road is. But this isn't a very long section of road that is bumpy. It's pretty short. Suspension seems to be handling it well. I have the rear suspension set at number 2 of the 4 adjustment settings right now. Here I am reaching for my front brake again like I'm on a motorcycle. There's some bumps. Okay, now the pavement gets smooth. Speed limit is 30 through here. Now, to talk about insurance on this Ryker, through Geico, it was going to be about $700 and something a year, and that was just way too much. If it was going to be $700 a year, I wouldn't have bought it. So then I went with Dairyland Insurance, and Dairyland Insurance was half that. It's $300 and something a year. So I don't understand what the difference is among insurance companies where it could be $300 and something a year with Dairyland and $700 and something a year with Geico. Geico was less with my Triumph Speedmaster and my Yamaha XC250 than Dairyland was, but Dairyland offered more and better coverage, so I switched all 3 over to Dairyland. I forget how much I'm paying per year on all 3, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I made the decision. I need insurance on all 3, so I got insurance on all 3 through Dairyland now. I really enjoy riding this. Haven't taken it on a highway yet at speed, like 60, 65, and 70. So I don't know whether or not I need a windshield just yet. Windshields are always nice, as long as you can see over them. You got to be able to see over your windshield. You don't want to be looking through a windshield because here I am, I got a full face helmet with a shield on it. And it rains, and if I can't look over my windshield, now I'm looking through my helmet with rain on it and a windshield with rain on it, and you don't want that. You always want to be able to see over a windshield. So this is nice. I really am enjoying this machine so far, and I'm glad I got it. It's very nice. I wish I had an empty garage. but I don't. So I just turned to miss that manhole cover back there, and turning on this thing is very easy. I'm only going 30 miles an hour. Gonna take the stop sign on the hill. And when I get home, I'm going to do my first reverse by backing it into the driveway. I'm already used to taking off without putting my foot on the brake, like I started out saying. I'm making a left-hand turn, my body's being thrown to the right, so I'm going to squeeze the tank with my knees again, and I'm going to lean left. And once again, lean, not leaning to lean the Ryker. You don't have to lean the Ryker. But I'm leaning to the left so that in that left-hand turn, the centrifugal force is not throwing me off to the right. Just took a bump there. I know that there are some bumps down here. We're going to approach an area where there are some like creeks running through. So there's bridges. So the road surface is not as smooth and even as it could be. So I'm going to come down. There's a manhole cover again. I just ran my rear tire over it. I want to avoid doing that. Another manhole cover. I actually love coming down this road with the XT250, and one of the things I practice doing is dodging the manhole covers with the XT250. Here's one of those areas where it dips. So I'm going to take it easy here. Alright, that was good. Yeah, so on the XT250 I love to come down this road and weave in and out of these manhole covers. It's just fun, and it's practice for darting away from something that might be in the center of the road while you're out on your motorcycle. Another manhole cover. I want to turn on the high beams here and see how they shine. Here's another one of those areas where the road has a dip in it. You saw it with that car there. He came through a little bit too fast. I don't know about the suspension on this Ryker and how it handles areas like this, but I never want to scrape my front end. So I want to take it easy always in places like that. I'll be pissed at myself if I ever scrape the front end. So we're going to try the high beam right now. High beam shines bright like it should, man. I see people replacing the headlights with LEDs. I don't think that's necessary. I really like coming through here. It's a little S twisty bend on a motorcycle. It feels just as good on the Ryker. Speed limit through here is 30. So we're going to get down here to the main road that runs through my town of Copper's Cove. Put the turn signal on. I got to watch this intersection because people don't believe that they need to stop here. And here we are. We're stopped. Okay, I got a path now at the intersection where my front right tire is out of the oil path, and so is my rear tire out of the oil path. So we'll see how this goes. Now you can imagine if the road is wet and it just started raining, that rear tire is gonna spin. You ever have a tire spin on one of those white paint patches that go across an intersection? You know what I mean. Now, speed limit through here is 40. Traffic is light. There's nobody behind me, so I'm doing like 35, 37. Just simply because of deer. I haven't tested this thing yet. See how fast I can stop on it at speed. Right now I'm doing 32, 33. Speed down here increases 40 to 45. And I'm going to keep on going to 35 and then increase it to 45 and see how fast it can get there. Now, on the Ryker, their website says that there is a 200-mile break-in period, which means to vary speeds, you can vary RPMs and all that kind of jazz. Okay, here's the 45. We're going to go 45. Yeah, it gets up to 45 really quick from 35. That was cool. I want to change this to RPM. There we go. We got it on RPM right now. 3,700 RPM at 35 miles, 3,800 RPM at 38 miles an hour. I did feel these little reflectors in the road as my left front tire hit one. I like it. Let's see how far we went. I went 9.8 miles. Trip 8.6 miles. That's the trip that I took. How far I went. Now we got an orange light. We're going to sit right here until this traffic passes. Car coming up behind me. Car coming my way is making a left. Now it's time for me to go. Here we go, Can Am Ryker. Let's make this turn. Made that at about 18 to 20 miles an hour, just like I would in a car. Now I'm looking out for these deer because it is the time of day where deer are just coming out. Always got to look out for deer. This is why I don't like riding at night. Because every once in a while you hear about a car hitting a deer, you see one alongside the road, it's dead. You know, I don't want to smash into a deer on my motorcycle or my Ryker. Nobody behind me. Yeah, I like the way this thing tracks down the road. I'm not experiencing any problems. Another thing that happens on the internet, in forums and in YouTube videos, a lot of people talk about how the Ryker, when it goes down the road, it's hunting and pecking like it's trying to find a spot to settle in and go straight. And I'm going to tell you what I figured out about that is that wheel balance, balancing your wheels to make sure that they're spinning true, and alignment is very important. Now, before I bought it, Woods Cycle Country, the assistant service manager, he did the wheel balance and alignment on this. And he invited me back, so I filmed the whole procedure. And it was very interesting to see the alignment done. At first, before I bought it, you know, they're charging $400 for assembly. $400 for assembly means, you know, when it comes out of the crate, it probably means putting the wheels on, front wheels, putting the handlebars on, the mirrors, stuff like that. But I think, and this is what I told them, you know, they didn't want to do wheel balance and alignment for me. They said that's not something they do coming out of the crate. And I said, well, if you don't do it, I'm not going to buy it. I also said that in the email that if this thing was delivered and I took it out and it was hunting and pecking all over the road, I would drive it back down there to New Braunfels and just leave it there tomorrow on Sunday, and they could have it. So they went ahead and they said, yeah, okay, we think we should do the wheel balance and alignment too, because one of the things that happens, I'm going to go up the road a little bit more because I'm not ready. There's where I live, but I want to finish this story. One of the things that that dealership, Woods Cycle Country, works on a lot are Rykers brought in by owners who bought them at other dealerships that are hunting and pecking the road, and they do wheel balance and alignment on it. So I wanted that done on my brand new Ryker as part of assembly. It only makes sense. Make it roadworthy when you sell the thing, because there's a lot of people out there who are doing things like putting sway bars on, and the sway bar really does not solve the problem. Now, I haven't taken it on the highway once again, so I will see tomorrow during the daytime. I'll take it out on the highway and see how it tracks on the highway. Man, this road is bumpy. I'm not feeling it up my spine or anything else like that. The suspension is taking it pretty well. I'm reaching for my clutch to downshift again. I'm looking to shift up and reach the clutch and shift up again. So anyway, I'm going to get this thing out on the highway sometime tomorrow. And the front suspension just took a manhole cover that was sunken down about 3 inches, but it was okay. I was trying to avoid it. I hit it head on. But it was okay. It felt good. Didn't harm me any. Didn't go up my spine. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to get it on the highway tomorrow and take it up to about 70, 75 miles an hour and see how it tracks down the highway. And I'm pretty sure because of the wheel balance and the proper alignment that it is going to be just fine. And then I won't need a sway bar. Okay, now I'm done talking and I'm going to pull into my house here. Back it into the driveway. Okay, so let's put it in reverse. Reach down here. It beeps. and the emergency flashers and the tail lights go on. Now this is going to be tricky. How do I do this? How do I do this and do it well is what I'm after. Okay, let me see. I'm over here to the right a little bit too much. I gotta move it over. See, I'm in the gravel. I gotta get back up on the driveway. Move it back here. And check to see where my car is. I'll move it over to the left a little bit more. I'm going to take it forward and back it up some. Try again. Got to move turn the wheels to get away from the handlebar. Okay, the fan is coming on. The cooling fan. That's the first time I've heard it. Okay, I'm going to take it out of reverse, put it back and forward, and I'm going to shut it off. Now, it's going to beep until I put it in park. Then it'll stop beeping. Fan's still running. Lights are still on. You know, when they showed me how to do everything on this at the dealer yesterday, I was like, why doesn't it shut down? It takes that long for the whole thing to shut down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my key. There's the key is off, and I'm going to go ahead and I am going to lock the parking brake down. Man, I need a light. I don't know how this key fits in. Okay, it fits in horizontally on feel, and then I'm going to turn it in there. The parking mechanism is locked now. That's cool. And then I'm going to put my key on my keychain, put it in the pocket, and I'm done. GoPro, stop recording.